Hello YouTube, this is Insane Monster, and this will be What If Deku Had the Two Tails? And this is the Two Tails from Naruto series. Now then, this starts off in the Naruto world where they're being attacked by the same group of people that uh, that Kaguya ran from, her own people that have come to retrieve all of the tail beasts and the power that they hold. Due to this, it they had to make a bit of a decision, and by doing it, they decided to send all of the tail beasts somewhere else, using an old jutsu that the tail beasts recalled from from the Sage of the Sixth Path. They decided to use it. It was a method for safely extracting the tail beast without killing the hosts, as as well as sending them away somewhere, making it easier due to the fact that the tail beasts were more or less just a large mass of chakra. Now then, we continue to where the Two Tails, whose actual name is Matatabi, ends up in the middle of of the city, surrounded by apartment buildings. He starts to panic, saying, oh, or thinking, "Oh crap! I'm in the middle of a human residence. I got to hide somewheres." She starts sensing for a suitable for somebody to go in. First person she senses, she uses her power to go right into their body. She finds herself in a middle school boy with green hair and eyes. And as she sealed herself in there, she finds that uh, you see slight marks start to form on his upper arms, as well as his upper torso and back. They uh, and thinks, hopefully no one saw me. After once this boy wakes up, it's Izuku Midoriya. He gets up and starts to get changing, realizing the marks on his body, wondering, what the hell? What is this? So, realizing the time, because he spaced out muttering too much, he freaks out to hurry up and get dressed, saying that I'll have to worry about it later, and hurries to get to school. Now then, everything happens the same as in canon for Izuku, though Matatabi is looking through his eyes, seeing everything he sees, surprised by what kind of world they live in, with beings of all kinds of powers, finds it incredibly interesting. Though he does get a bit angry after when Bakugo threatens Deku and even blows up his notebook, telling him to go jump off the roof of the school and maybe he'll be born with a quirk in his next life. Izuku go get his notebook and starts to head home. He goes through an underpass where he then is attacked by the sludge villain. As it engulfs him, Matatabi thinks, says, "Oh, come on! I just got this kid, and now he's about to be killed. I don't have a choice." She begins to flow her power into Izuku, surrounding him, completely covering him in blue flames, burning away the sludge villain with him yelling in pain and agony. Which is when All Might shows up saying, "Do not, I am here," and hurries up, grabs Izuku quickly to pull him away, getting slightly burned, and using a Detroit Smash to knock out the villain. He congratulates Izuku for holding off the villain until he got there, and that he had a pretty incredible quirk. Izuku was still processing everything, and All Might, while he was spaced out, signed his book, and by the time he snapped out of it, All Might was already jumping away. So the sludge villain doesn't escape, and Deku also uh, doesn't grab onto All Might's leg, which he's just uh, running straight home and then opening up his shirt to look at the markings. That seeing that there's glowing blue slightly. Freaking out, wondering what's happening, I gotta do something, I gotta go to the doctor. Yeah, gotta go to the doctor. And he says, oh, for crying out loud, stop muttering. He looks around trying to figure out where that voice is coming from. It speaks again, saying, I'm inside you. He looks down at the marks begin to glow a bit brighter blue. And he thinks, uh, okay, so I have a sentient quirk. The voice said, no, no, I am not a quirk. I'm a tailed beast. Izuku doesn't understand. So Matatabi decides to share some of her memories with him, showing him the history of the tailed beast and such. He's shocked by this, though he he's not imaginative enough to come up with all of that craziness. So he kind of believes it, yet asks, okay, but what proof do you have? He tells him to go look outside. He takes a look out of his window, seeing people staring at burnt, seared paw prints that look like they came from a giant cat. He swiftly put his head back inside through the window and said, oh, okay, I got a giant blue fire cat inside of me. And just, he starts panicking and muttering. Then Matatabe forces some of her energy out to form a tail and slaps Izuku with it, yelling, calm down and stop freaking out. He then stares at the tail, surprised by this, and doing what she says and complying to calm down. Once he's calm, they begin to talk. She said that she is interested in this odd society, as well as the fact that he wants to be a hero despite not having any power. Asking him why, he explains that he wants to be the kind of hero that people look up to, that when they see him smiling that they feel safe, like All Might. He asked who that is and said it was a guy I actually met him earlier. It was so incredible and helped save me from the sludge villain. He said, oh, you mean that blonde man who has that odd injury? He, he asked, what do you mean? The two-tail said, it's nothing. Though he does seem like the kind of charismatic kind of person. Yeah, yeah, and I do want to be just like him. I want to be a hero. Matatabe figures that while she's stuck here, and until they possibly come back to get her, or they aren't able to retrieve them. She doesn't know, but she figures that why the hell not, and decides to offer her assistance for him to use her power in the to help him become a hero. He actually is excited. Normally, Matatabi isn't that friendly with humans, though given the society that humanity is at right now, he would find it very hard to live somewhere in peace without a large group of humans uh, trying to capture her and possibly experiment and use her as a weapon. So she figures if she's gonna be used for anything, she's gonna do it voluntarily, and it's gonna be used for something that's actually gonna help people. So she offers it to him. Then, but he asked what Matatabi's name is. Ma, but he doesn't know it yet. But she said that it's not important. So he just replies with, "Fine, then I'll call you Neko." He says, "Wait, what? Hell no! That's just cat. That just means cat. What the hell?" Deku says, "Well, you are a giant blue fire cat who is refusing to tell me her name. So, yes, yeah, I'm gonna call you Neko." He just growls, saying, "Oh, I'm starting to regret this already. But, fine." So they start to go training for what they need to do. He focuses the energy from the Neko's instructions and finds himself able to create flame claws over his hands and feet, growing one tail, blue flame tail, as well as some cat ears. He sees that there's odd black markings on them that match up with his tattoos. He says that it's a type of curse mark kind of thing. It isn't something to be worried about, though, due to the fact that I sealed myself inside of you, those markings are now a part of you. And now that you're using them, it seems as though that the markings have extended further down your arm to get to the point near your wrist. He he asks what else he can do. Matatabi explains that essentially a tailed beast is a giant sentient form of energy given mass. And Izuku wonders what kind of things he can do with this power. Matatabi decides to teach him a technique that he saw Naruto use, along with even one time infusing it with her own chakra. And yes, it's the Rasengan. And before you say anything about it, the Rasengan itself is more or less a human version of their tail beast bombs. The fourth Hokage actually developed it using the tail beast bombs as a basis to work off of. There was a lot of trial and error and it blowing up in his face. Eventually, during the 10 months of training, he is able to learn it along with uh, throwing fire and as well as extending his claws, his flaming claws. During the beginning of the training, though, they decided not to do this in a forest after almost starting a forest fire on the first day, which is where they find themselves going to dig up a beach, cleaning it up so he can learn better control over the tail to grab things and crush things with it, as well as extending and growing the flame claws he produces to grab objects and lift them, finding himself more physically strong and powerful, even able to shoot fire, though he is limited on how much of Matatabe's power he's able to use at the moment. Matatabe still doesn't particularly like humans, though he's though, like I said, he needs to hide. As for the other tailed beasts, he doesn't know where they are right now, but some of them have already bonded to some humans, while others have actually ended up being ended up finding a place to hide, considering some of them are aquatic and they can hide in the deepest parts of the ocean. Now we continue, and he also ends up learning some other tricks as well. Breathing fire, though it's Matatabi's blue flames, which he's excited because it's the similar power that his dad has. Though Matatabi still gets pissed when Bakugo berates him, he holds it in, not wanting to flare up in such a public place. So, and at the near the end of the 10 months, at the 8 months mark, they cleaned the beach in the entirety of it, which gave them 2 more months to practice. So she begins teaching him something else, infusing his fire chakra into the Rasengan, stating that you're more or less using my chakra, but as you've been training these last 8 months, you have started developing your own chakra. He has had a rundown on what chakra is and is developing his own, though Matatabi doesn't know much about human jutsus, though she is familiar on the basis of it and how some of them work. As he does give a description of some other jutsus that she's heard about as well as seen, though she isn't sure how exactly they work. So if Izuku wants to learn them, he's gonna need to do a bit of trial and error. As for any other elemental types, Izuku ends up finding out that he's actually a wind type, training over and over again to control it. But at most, he's at the point where he can use the wind chakra on some blades or sharp metal to give it some more cutting strength. At the moment, this is his current strength to use the Rasengan, pour in some of Matatabi's chakra into it to make a blue flame Rasengan. You conjure up a blue flame cattail, ears, claws on his hands and feet, along with having increased agility, speed, and strength. He's also been making sure that he has plenty of studying time to make sure he can pass the actual test for the written part. And now, when the next part starts, it will be part 2 beginning at the UA exam, and which we will go until the end of the part of the uh, hero exam test at when he's in UA. As for the other aspects, like who gets one for all, I'm going to leave that for a later part of the what if. And hope you liked it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the notification bell for future updates. And hope you enjoyed. See you later.